Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the new FIFA 21 gameplay stuff to check out today. I've seen this trailer a little bit. There are some things that I did want to point out in it. But before we get started on this video, I will always be super adamant about the whole inconsistent gameplay stuff. Bad and good gameplay is 100% a thing. It's something that needs to be fixed. I don't like that I play in mostly bad gameplay because, most people would like to play during the daytime, and that's when it's the most unplayable. I don't want to have to play at 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes because it's still inconsistent for me to be able to enjoy the game. But regardless of that, the new features will be noticeable in whatever gameplay that you play. But I don't trust them to fix that, so just keep that in mind when considering buying the new game. Like, I don't expect them to change it, but I'm a content creator in the game, so it is what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and check out these new features.
FIFA 21 rewards you for your creativity and control both on and off the ball, with more intelligent player positioning, better scoring opportunities, and player-controlled runs. Last season, dynamic one-on-ones put you in charge of 1v1 battles. In FIFA 21, Agile dribbling lets you unleash your creativity to go past the defender. Show off some fast footwork to leave them lost for words.
Whoa. I mean, this is Volta, so, but... Whoa.
Defender. Show off some fast footwork to leave them lost for words.
It's Volta, so...
Hold down the right shoulder button and use the left stick to get close control over the ball.
Hold on. It's like a last second push. That's not bad.
See how
So this is definitely going to be the new dribbling in the game. So instead of you using just the left stick to be able to respond quickly on the ball and whatnot, this will most likely be what most people are going to be doing. The problem with this feature is that it's going to be used a lot, and people don't always dribble like that constantly, right? But if it is the way for the video game concept of the game to be more responsive, it's definitely a welcome inclusion, right? Because obviously I don't compare this to real life, because that thing that Bernardo Silva just did right there is not a consistent thing that happens constantly. Like, people are going to dribble like that to do regular touches because it looks like it's going to be the most responsive. It looks like it's going to be more responsive than the left stick, but we'll see. It's one thing to see and it's one thing to feel, right? But again, if it makes the dribbling more responsive for you to get into the spaces, especially if you have to compensate for the gameplay, because I don't trust you guys in regards to fixing it, then it's a welcome inclusion. But the thing is that if you include something like that, everything needs to be directional inputs, okay? If I defend properly with the player, and he wants to exit to the right side over here, and I, with my defender, exit to the right side, and you give the advantage to the attacker, video game concept-wise, that's annoying, right? But it depends, obviously, in regards to the spacing between the defender and the attacker, and all that fun stuff, right? Because every animation you do for the attackers needs to be balanced out with the animation for the defenders when you are manually defending, right? So
Sterling uses his quick feet to take it.
Like this one over here.
Sterling uses his quick.
It seems like, right, that this is going to be a consistent thing. If you were to drag the ball back from this close control dribbling, you actually have the advantage over the defender, because if they overcommit you, that's when you accelerate to the sides. That's what it seems like, right? Because in both of these examples over here, right,
Control over the ball.
you see how he pushes it back, and then when the defender attacks him, that's when he can go to the side. Very similar situation with Sterling, how he pushes the ball back in comparison to the defender overcommitting when the ball's, behind him. And then that's how he's able to accelerate to the sides. That's what the mechanic looks like, which, is to be seen when we actually play the game, right?
Get around the defender and lays off that perfect through ball. Or do it in style with the new skill moves, like the bridge dribble and the ball roll fake, to
Oh, that ball roll fake is nice.
explode past defenders. And in defense, counter the oncoming attacker by using your muscle to stop them in their tracks.
This is the thing that people wanted me to review, is the attacking AI runs, because as you guys know with the player reviews, it's the one thing that I focus on the most in regards to players being good or bad. So obviously with player reviews next year, there's going to be more variables to consider, because the reason why every review this year is very similar is because the game itself is very linear. It's garbage, right? It's a very linear game. Because the attacking AI is going to be different in this game, the variable is going to exist where it's like, is his attacking AI good enough where I don't have to always control him, or do I have to control him most of the time for it to be better? That's going to be like the big thing nowadays, right? So another variable to consider if we do player reviews in the future.
In past seasons, you rely on the AI.
Yes, so that's the run that I always talk about with the most meta players in the game for FIFA 20, is when you make the pass from the side and they utilize the empty space in the middle and they make those angled runs,
make the right runs off the ball. Now you've got more.
If Sergio Ramos is defending this situation manually, like there's a cursor over him, he should get this ball. Let me see. Yeah, so if I don't like that he doesn't intercept this. I don't think it's a good enough opportunity for him to get through, but I would say that more if the cursor is on him. If the cursor is on him and he doesn't intercept that ball, that's a little annoying.
You've got more control over your attacker's movement in the build-up.
Okay, so that's where you see it, right? So when he makes this initial pass, you could already control where the player is going to move from the initial pass, right? So that's a welcome inclusion as well. Right, you can see it from right here. So when he makes this initial pass, it looks like he runs in a straight line, right? Makes that run, a little bit of an angle, gets the ball. The same thing with here with De Bruyne. De Bruyne makes that run. He does actually angle himself, but he goes in a general area of where you initially aimed it towards, right? Which is pretty cool because it helps you with 1-2 plays, which is exactly what Aguero is going to do over here, right? Kind of wait for that space to open up. That's probably going to be a combination of using this new close control dribbling and waiting for De Bruyne to actually make that run. So two variables to consider there.
Watch how a tap on the left bumper and a flick of the right stick sends.
So that's what I was hoping for. So this one right here, it's not completely based off of running in a straight line. They adjust their run accordingly to the defenders that they're facing, right? So when they make the initial pass, watch how Salah doesn't completely run in a straight line. Like, he'll make those angles if he has to, right?
It runs. Watch how a tap on the left bumper and a flick of the right stick sends Salah into space before he dispatches the return. Or lock onto one player.
This is another one, right? So this is a variable where you can actually control another player. Pez has done this for, I think, years, if I'm not mistaken, right? It's one of two features that I love about the game. One is the super cancel, me being able to move anywhere and not be super attached to the ball. And the second one was off the ball movement that I'm controlling, because this guy will just be an attacking AI once you switch off of him with the ball, but the focus is the run that you're making, right? So as you guys know, a lot of the times when I'm playing the game, I hate that players don't utilize a certain empty space when I see it, right? So again, a couple of variables that have to be taken into consideration is that your right stick switching, especially if your gameplay is inconsistent, is going to be super annoying, because if it's good, then the right stick switching will be fine. You can defend these opportunities no problem because you'll be able to get yourself into the right situations most of the times, right? But if it's not, that's an unbalanced part of the game, because your attacking is going to be significantly better than your defending, because both of them need to be balanced. For the video game concept, they need to both be balanced. I understand that in real life, the attacker has the advantage over the defender, right? But it needs to be balanced between the two. So if you are able to right stick switch quickly and efficiently, not a big problem. But I do like that this feature is now in the game, because there's so many times where my players make super irrelevant runs and they are not considered usable in FIFA 20 because they don't utilize that space a certain way. So now that I could control the player, most players have become usable because now it's user-based control. But then again, like I was mentioning earlier, there is going to be the variable of you needing to control, or you needing to have players that attacking AI wise, you don't always have to control them, right? Like it shouldn't always be a thing where like I have to do it always, right? Like it's very important that they themselves are good at it. So it's definitely something else to consider when doing player reviews, because player reviews in FIFA 20 are very linear because they have to follow certain patterns, right? If they follow those certain patterns, they're good, they're bad, they're generic, they're usable, whatever, right? But in this game, there's now 3 different variables to judge attacking AI. right? It's not linear because you have to control them if they're not doing the runs you want them to do, right? And it all depends on whether or not you can switch to the player and whether you can accelerate into the play quickly as well, right? A lot of different stuff to consider.
To take matters into your own hands. The world's best.
You see how João Felix held his run right there? There's a couple of variables that they're going to show in this.
Players are always in the right place at the right time. Now they have that same level of positional awareness in FIFA. World-class forwards like Sergio Aguero hold their runs to stay onside. Creative playmakers like Kevin De Bruyne.
Okay, so this one right here is something that I want to review as well. So there's a couple of things to consider in this situation, right? And you'll see the specific gameplay stuff. Okay, so you see how when you're dribbling with this player over here, Aguero's already moving into the empty space, Van Dijk is pushing forward. They're obviously playing against the defensive AI by itself. Nobody's controlling these players, right? So that's a huge thing to consider. Now, Aguero over here in this situation, this is where their attacking AI stuff is kind of BS because he runs in a straight line in comparison to the defender here, right? So you yourself, when you get into this situation, right, once you made that initial dribble, you should have already passed the ball, right? Because if you pass the ball, Aguero's going to be in a better position. He's already making the initial run. He's onside. That initial run is going to be the most important. Now, in a situation like this, I actually may consider, using the switching to switch to Aguero in this situation and actually make the run a little bit upwards over here. Because if I make the run upwards, I'll put myself in a better situation because if I run in a straight line and Robertson's chilling over here, he'll be able to catch up to me because I still have to settle the ball if the initial pass is not done correctly pushing forward, right? So it's cool that he makes this run. The example they show here is a little bit it's not strange because he doesn't make the initial pass because they want to show how a player behaves when he's in an offside position. So obviously you should have already passed before this acceleration touch that he does here. But Aguero does this, right? So the variable to consider there now is that if he's in an offside position, you wasted the opportunity, but he will still intelligently go back and then he has to accelerate again. So that initial acceleration is going to slow you down, but that's your fault because you didn't utilize the first initial run that he made, right? So it's a cool variable skill-wise, gameplay-wise right there to consider, right? Especially when a player's making an offside run. But I do like that I can wait for his new run when he's in an offside position, go back and then go into the attacking space again, right? That's a thing that really irritates me in FIFA 20 is when they just continuously make a run and only some players will go back into position quickly. You know what I'm saying? So
spaces to play those incisive through balls. Midfielders like Fabinho.
That's generic.
Shut off passing lanes. And defensive giants like Van Dijk block more effectively when they get in the way of shots and...
Okay, so this one, there's a couple things that I like and I dislike, okay? So with this tackle over here with Van Dijk, this is in Volta, but obviously it'll be very similar to the online experience, right? And the variable is the fact that two different people are making a tackle again here, right? So even if you're initially controlling one of these guys, the fact that this guy also makes a tackle, it annoys me from certain opportunities because they shouldn't get basically busted. I can't think of the term now. Busted out in regards to the shot that you take. A thing I do like in this situation is if you are controlling this player and he's in front of you when you take the shot, I like that you don't get it through him. I don't know how consistent this is going to be because the one thing I used to hate in FIFA 19 is when I used to defend beautifully and the player took the shot through my legs. Never irritated me more in my entire life, okay? So in this situation here, this is an animation that I could appreciate, right? And it's this one right here where Van Dijk, or whoever this is, makes the initial tackle with his left foot, but he doesn't have to switch animation for him to make the other tackle. He transitions from the first animation into the second one, right? So you can see right here, as he's falling, he still makes the block with his right foot. I just don't like this part right here. Boom, both of them doing that. I hate that because you just reward AI, especially if he's not playing properly. But it depends. This double tackling stuff, it really depends on what the attacking is like because it's not the same as FIFA 20. In FIFA 20, this would piss me off. In FIFA 21, depending on how the dribbling, the defending, and the attacking is, I'll see if it's annoying or not, right?
And crosses.
Like, that's fine. That's perfectly fine.
FIFA 21 also smooths out those defense v attack free-for-alls when the ball goes loose in the box.
There seems to be a consistency with the way that the goalkeeper is sliding to the floor, right? So this is going to depend as well, but there is also the other thing to consider where it actually presents a certain goal scoring opportunity, and that's the chip shots, right? So this animation right here that they do, right here, you see, what I don't like about this trailer specifically is that they could have showed literally 1 second before this happened, because look at how fast they tried to show off this new animation to basically hide the BS, right? Look at this. In FIFA 20, 1 second, you could barely see it. FIFA 21, same thing, watch. It's just instant into it, right? But this FIFA 21 actually shows you, it shows you the perfect amount, right? Because look, in this situation right here, right there, okay? If this attacker does the acceleration touch, because it looks like that's still in the game, right? You know, like when you're really close to the goalkeeper, your attacker does a super emphasized acceleration touch, even when you're just holding the right trigger as it normally does. He does the same thing here. But okay, if that's a consistent variable to take into consideration, completely fine, right? But here's the thing, right? Is that watch the acceleration touch, ready? If you take that acceleration touch, you shouldn't get rewarded with the ball deflecting and going to the side. Your acceleration touch was poor. If that's a variable that's consistent, the goalie should just slide to the floor and collect the ball, right? That's one thing. But then the other thing is that the way that they're sliding to the floor actually suggests that chip shots could potentially be more effective, because this slide is the exact slide they do in PES for you to be able to chip it to the opposite direction. So you see how he's diving to the left side and his legs are open to the right? He's not lifting his legs, right? But he's doing the same thing in other situations too. Watch.
In the box with a refreshed collision system. Now you'll see less falling over and more natural outcomes when players...
Okay, so this one over here is a weird thing to show because there's a couple things to look at as well here, okay? And this is the part right here, ready? So, slide tackle, not possession-based, right? Not possession-based. This guy, this tackle right here is just so, it's just a stupid animation, this one right here. Both of those just ridiculously dumb, right? Okay. So this one is a possession-based tackle, right? But look at the cool thing to consider here is when he does the slide tackle, right? And it's a regular slide tackle, the transition of this guy losing the ball and this attacker getting possession of the ball is really cool. I actually really like that. It's instant, right? It's a very smooth transition. What I don't like is that if, and this is a variable to consider, because I have no idea, if he is manually controlling this guy right here and he himself is running in a straight line that way, then forget what I'm about to say. But if this is defensive AI running straight, even though he slide tackle lost the ball and he keeps running straight like he does right here, that's stupid. But that's probably just a thing that they show in the trailer just in case the cursor's over their head. I have no idea if it was a cursor. It did look like it was potentially the cursor, but if that's defensive AI responding to how he does that, that's incredibly stupid. So I don't know for sure what that was, okay? Oh, so this Dele Alli opportunity is the definition of the chip. So you guys can see here, right? You see how he chips the ball when he's close to the goalkeeper? Look at the goalkeeper's animation. Legs to the bottom, slides to the right when he is close to the attacker, right? So it could present an opportunity where you can actually chip the ball against these guys, which is cool, right? Because chips, dude, chip shots in PES make you feel so good about yourself, and you can't even complain about it because it's a 1v1. You didn't defend well enough for the guy to get past you, score the chip shots, you know?
Ball. And a focus on the fundamentals includes your feedback to unlock creativity in FIFA.
Okay, this one I have to see. Hold on. Okay, this is bad. this I have to mention is bad. This heel-to-heel angle does not make sense for him to pass the opposition. Why? Because his player, and again, I don't know what his controls were, so it could have totally been about the controls, right? But this heel-to-heel is towards the inside, right? The defender is towards the inside and makes a manual tackle. If I make a manual tackle and you're going on the inside of me, I should get possession of the ball, right? Now, it's different, right? If this defender is to the top over here, right? And he's a little, it depends the distance between the attacker and the defender, right? It's different if he's like, let's just say like they were in line with each other over here, right? And this guy tries to commit a tackle like this, but I time the heel to heel perfectly to get past him. That's different. But over here, his angle is facing this way, and so is the defender. So I don't know if it's the quality of the defender or the person using the player, right? But I don't like that this heel to heel gets past the defender because it's going through the inside when the defender is also on the inside, you know? I don't like that. That's a stupid animation right there. What is he tackling over there? You know what I'm saying?
To unlock creativity in FIFA 21. Switch on new manual headers and send headed shots and passes exactly where you're aiming.
Manual headers, okay.
Dispatch the ball into space for your teammate to run onto with more effective long through balls. Master those skills? Competitor mode gives you an idea of what it's like to play against the best FIFA players in the world, giving your opponent better skill moves, dribbling and all-round tactical awareness so you can take it beyond.
No.
Competitor mode gives you an idea of what it's like to play against the dribbling.
No, EA. This is a head-on tackle. Mano to mano, okay? Me versus him. Why? This defensive animation? What are you talking about? No. That part, you gotta fix. Okay? In the video game concept, that's a defender's ball every single time. And it has to be possession-based. That pissed me off. What is that, dude? That already annoyed me. Because that doesn't make any sense. Okay? Video game-wise.
Best FIFA players in the world. Giving your opponent dribbling.
What? Let me see this initial tackle. I'm a fair guy, okay? Listen. Let me see. The distance is too far. Perfectly fine. He accelerates. You misjudge it a little bit. Okay. No. Hell to the no, my dude. No. You have the audacity to actually put that clip in your trailer. Are you dumb? Head-on tackles, EA. I get the ball, dude. No. Possession-based.
But don't worry if you miss your chance. Giving your opponent better skill moves, dribbling, and all-round tactical awareness, so you can take it beyond legendary. But don't worry if you miss your chance. Have another go at striking it just right with new gameplay rewinds in kickoff mode for a second shot at perfection.
Aren't those shots RNG in your game? Unless you green time those shots, I don't know what your shooting is going to be like. I have no idea. But doing a replay on this is irrelevant if you do the exact same shot and you get different results. How many times do you take this type of shot? Because normally, right, if you're in this situation right here and you want to shoot with your left foot across goal, the way that you aim your thumbstick is not even to the corner, it's all the way down. You face it directly down so you can literally hit the side here. But if I do that exact same shot with those exact same commands from this angle over here, which isn't a 100% opportunity, you're not going to consistently score this opportunity if your shooting mechanics is the same way as it is right now, you know?
Have another go at striking it just right with...
There's no skill variable there because your shots are RNG if you do the same commands in those situations.
New gameplay rewind.
There's no green time shot here, so it's like...
in kickoff mode for a second shot at perfection. That's a quick tour of some of the biggest features coming to gameplay in FIFA 21. With the all-new attacking system, smarter positioning, better scoring opportunities, and player-controlled runs, you'll be rewarded for flexing your creativity and control in FIFA 21. And there's much more to come in career mode and FIFA Ultimate Team.
Okay, few good things, few bad things. That challenge that he did right there really irritated me. Okay, really irritated me. But no, the attacking AI stuff is very important. Maybe they watched the reviews for that and they're like, hey, you know what? Like, our attacking AI is kind of trash for 20. Some players are good at it, some players are not. Maybe we should just give more control to the players so that they can actually control the runs that these players make, right? So, this is judgment before actually playing the game. Again, I'm always going to talk about inconsistent gameplay because I know for a fact they're not going to fix it. Just take that into consideration. I know for a fact that they won't fix it, because if I went to the studios last year before FIFA 20 came out and we still had it for the entire year, don't bet your bucks that they're gonna switch it for FIFA 21. I'm still gonna buy the game. I'm a content creator in the game, right? So it's a whatever thing for me. But generally speaking, I know that they're not gonna fix it, right? But the attacking AI stuff is cool. The defensive stuff, that tackle head on is a big no-no. Huge no. I do not want any random part of that tackle to happen ever. In a video game world, I get that ball every single time. That's it. Head on, I get the ball. What kind of animation was that, dude? It already annoyed me that the inside heel to heel, when the defenders on the inside went through from a terrible tackle animation, depending on the player or if it was the game, I have no idea, right? But then that one, no, that's a huge no-no for me. Your attacking AI stuff. I like that when you make a pass, you could just choose the run you want to make instantly, right? So if I'm on the side using like a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1 with my left and right attacking mids, I can play my striker on stay central target man, put his back towards the defenders, give him the ball, use his physical presence, lay the ball off to the side if he's not defending properly. That's cool to me. I'm totally awesome with that, right? Because that's like a huge thing in real life football. Attacking AI, I like the way that the onside offside trap is set up in regards to the attacking AI. I'm totally cool with you making the initial run. Should have made that run. If you didn't, then you lose a little bit of that skill variable where, you know, Aguero has to get back into position and then accelerate into the play. And it's a little bit emphasized when he accelerates. Totally cool with that as well, because he should have made the initial pass, so that's fine. And then the attacking AI, where I actually get to control the player now, is significantly better, because even in that Aguero situation, I would have made him run like in this direction over here for me to be able to score the opportunity. But again, this is just pure judgment from what I'm seeing and not what I'm feeling, right? So I obviously have to play the game myself to see it, but I do think, or I do know, that new dribbling mechanic in the game is going to be how people dribble in most situations. And to be honest with you, in FIFA, at times that dribble is going to be really toxic. I could already feel it, like the way that the opponent is going to play it, right? But again, if you have a good variable with defending and I could actually get the ball if I predict the right angles, perfectly fine. But you guys usually don't do a really good job of balancing the attack with defense in regards to those types of stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoy this review in regards to the stuff that they're adding to the new game. If you guys want to see more of this stuff, be sure to let me know in the YouTube comment section down below. I will catch you guys for the next video, because it's 12:26 right now. I think they're going to release Greenwood as a card, so we'll do the player review for that. So hopefully his off-the-ball movement is good without me having to control him like you can if you have 21, all right? So I'll see you guys then. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.